Here's one that many of you requested, the top 10 most difficult normal monsters. With so many monsters in this series, this was a very tough one. First, let's set the ground rules. Bosses who later became normal monsters do not count. Check, this means you, bitch. Monsters who are too overpowered because you fought them too early do not count. Sorry, Graded Dragon. It has to be a monster that will give you a hard time even if your levels are high. Before we get started, let's talk about the armor mentions. Do not let your guard down when fighting these guys or you might get a surprise game over. This thing is such a pain in the ass. All he does is death over and over and over again. There's an item that can prevent death, but that shit costs 50,000 gil. If you want to kill this thing, you better be quick. If you have 3 party members alive when you fight this thing, do not be surprised if you get a game over. I should not be forced to kill off one of my party members while grinding normal monsters. I hate behemoths. In every game, all they do is sit on their ass and they counterattack. But this is the worst of the bunch. Sometimes this thing counterattacks with Meteor, and we all know how bad Meteor is in Final Fantasy IX. All you can do is hope that it doesn't wipe you out. This thing gave me a game over after I beat Ozma. Oh yes, this asshole, the Great Malboro in Final Fantasy X. We don't need to go into detail why this is one of the most hated monsters ever created. But it's only an honorable mention. Why, you ask? Well, for starters, many people come here before giving the Master Moon, which is not a good idea. But mostly, you should be using First Strike anyway. Once you provoke it, he won't use his bad breath attack. Some of you knew this, and some of you didn't.
Hey you, take me on!
I can't include it in the official countdown because unfortunately, most of you have never fought these guys. Listen to me and listen to me very, very carefully. These guys will kick your ass! What the hell am I talking about, you ass? Here's the thing. In the international version of Final Fantasy XII, these guys have been completely souped up. At level 99, they have over 1 million hit points, they hit like trucks, they counterattack, and their basic attack can cause death to you. What really blows is the fact that they are telepathic. You attack one, and the other one automatically comes after you. Don't even consider fighting these bastards until you have the best equipment. If you own the international copy of Final Fantasy XII, go ahead and consider those dragons number 1 and move everything else down 1 rank. Anyway, let's get started. These are, in my opinion of course, the top 10 most difficult normal battles in Final Fantasy that really piss you the fuck off! Can this even be considered a normal battle? There's only one in the entire game, and after you beat it, you have to close the gate to fight it again. The main problem with this fight is those 2 little fucking cats. They cause deprotect on your party. If you don't take this guy down before he transforms, you might want to restart the fight. It's not too difficult once you reach a higher level, but why is there a normal monster that can hit just as hard as Valfoda? The monsters in the DS version of Final Fantasy IV have been souped up, but the Red Dragon is the toughest of the bunch. I'm going to assume that you don't have the patience to get 5 adamant armors. This thing hits like a truck. If you put him in Berserk, it'll make the fight a lot easier, but of course, his physical attacks will start to hurt. What really sucks about this is the fact that he takes half damage from Cecil and Kane's strongest weapons. You might want to reach level 99 before trying to get those 2 onion swords.
One down.
As I said before, there's only one thing I hate about this game. It's too fucking hard. I don't know, maybe I just suck. I can only beat this game with 3 characters: Terra, Onion Knight, and Yuna. Those goddamn level 120 plus mannequins are insane. The main issue I have with these guys is the fact that the AI instantly reads your inputs. Of course, there's always the Leer Strike build, but I really feel low for using such a cheap, overpowered setup. You know, a lot of people hate Final Fantasy V, and for a good reason. The random encounters are extremely annoying, but this one takes the cake. Hades is exclusive to the Game Boy Advance version. This bastard has an attack that can wipe out the entire party. By the time you reach him, you'll have all the best weapons and all the best armor, so you should be able to take him out before he causes you too much trouble, but you need to be quick. He hits harder than Anu, the ultimate boss of the game. So use that holy spell, that rapid fire, that Bahamut summon, that quick, that mime. Do whatever it takes to kill this son of a bitch ASAP. Fighting a few of these things isn't difficult at all, but fighting 20 of them in one small room is hellish. You can put them to sleep, but there's so fucking many of them, and they attack you really fast. Whatever you do, do not come down here without the sleeper guy spell. Didn't I tell you? It doesn't matter what she's doing, she's always shaking her ass. She can't help it. Oh yes, Anima Toys. You all knew this was coming. We really don't need to go into detail about this one, do we? Later on, after you beat the game and your stats are uber high, then maybe you can put up a fair fight. Long Gui is a souped up version of the Anima Toys. But consider what you have to go through to fight them, and the fact that you get a trophy just for beating one, we're going to consider Long Gui a boss. Now, according to videos, it's very possible to beat one of these things at a low level without death. But I think I'll pass. I think the Malboro in 8 is a lot worse than the one in 10. This thing always starts to fight with bad breath, and I don't think there's anything you can do to stop it. You need to give the Doom Train to Christy. Oh fuck, I need Malboro tentacles to get the Doom Train, but at the same time, I suck at triple try it. As you know, the Queen of Cards side quest is a pain in the ass, so unfortunately, most of you are not going to get the Doom Train card until this 4. The only sure way to kill this bastard without status guards is to quickly kill it with Christy, which means you want to keep your HP low before you end the fight. And even then, you still want to use 2 first strikes so you have time to select the generator. I should not have to go through this much trouble to beat a normal monster. Tell me something, guys. What's the point in using ribbons in this game? They're totally useless. Here's the thing. Most of you are going to come down here with the catnip. Your first target is the mushroom cloud. You can kill it in one shot. But what if the Elder Drake kills your catnip user before they can do anything? If that happens, you're totally fucked. There's a really good reason why I say catnip is the #1 overpowered, overused spam in Final Fantasy. Because it is. They nerfed it for a reason. Don't worry, you'll have a chance to prove yourself very soon. I fucking hate this monster. The Dino Forest is hands down the very best place to level up in Final Fantasy VI. You normally encounter T-Rexes, but eventually, sooner or later, you are gonna run into the Bronchiosaur. I can beat the Kaiser Dragon and Omega Weapon at level 60, but even if I was at level 80, I'd be scared to fight the Sting. You probably aren't using ribbons because you want to use the Growth Egg, the Gadget Glove, or the Master Scroll, which means if he uses Disaster on his first turn, you're fucked unless you're lucky and it misses your entire party. The main problem with the Bronchiosaur is the fact that it uses Ultima. Do not be ashamed to use whatever means necessary to kill this son of a bitch. There are just so many monsters in Final Fantasy that I might have overlooked a few of them. If I did, please post them in the comments. However, there's one I think we all know about. There's an old saying that I'm pretty sure everybody has heard. Do not judge a book by its cover, and these little bastards emphasize on that. This is the most difficult normal battle in Final Fantasy. Yawns. Fucking yawns. I simply cannot believe how tough these things are. What the fuck were they thinking when they created these little sheep? Fighting one of them isn't hard at all, but fighting 3 of them is almost as hard as fighting Ozma. And just like Ozma, the fight is totally luck-based. Your victory is never guaranteed. Sometimes they attack you 2 and 3 times before you take a turn. Their main attack is Comet, which is basically a miniature version of Meteor. It can do little damage, or it can do so much damage that it kills one of your characters in one shot. Fortunately, their aiming sucks. It will miss most of the time, but this is why they counterattack with Float. Apparently, when your characters are on Float, the chances of them getting hit by Comet increases. It takes at least 2 max power hits to kill one, but they counterattack everything you do. The attack you really need to worry about is Snort. Not only does it never miss, but it removes your character from the battle completely. This isn't Final Fantasy VI, it counts as a KO, which means if the rest of your team is KO'd, it's game over. You can use death attacks to kill them in one shot, but from my experience, these moves seem to be very inaccurate. And even if you miss, they still counterattack. There's a souped up version of the Yawn, but we're going to consider that one a boss. This is the best spot to level up. Make sure you save the game very often. Fuck these little sheep.